for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, Easy Mutt. Use code VENOM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's good guys, Venomfire here, back from a video, and today I got for you guys what I think is the best and most dominant defense in Madden 21. I'm going to give you guys the full defensive setup. Now, to be honest, it's going to be a little bit more complicated. It's going to be a pretty complicated setup, but overall, I think if you're a beginner, if you're advanced, it can help you out, and overall, it's one of the best defenses that I've been running against meta offenses, and I've been having a lot of success with. Now, before we get into the video, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. You guys have been showing a lot of support recently. I appreciate that support. We are on the road to 13,000 subscribers, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. But moving on, we are going to be in the multiple defense. Now, this is in, 4-6, Chiefs, Seahawks. It's in a lot of playbooks. It's the nickel 3-3-5 formation. Now, the particular setup you're going to be running is going to be a lot of adjustments, so realistically you could run it out of one of two different plays, cover 3 sky drop or cover 4 drop. Personally, I like to run it out of cover 3 sky drop just because you pretty much get to make a couple less adjustments, but honestly it does come down to preference. I'm going to be running it out of cover 3 sky drop though. Now we're also going to go to our zone drops. What drops we want to do is set your curl flats to 20, our flats to 5. Then I like to have my hooks at 10 for this setup. Now you can set them to 15, but honestly I do like that 10-yard mark. Again, the player running is going to be cover 3 sky drop. One thing with 3-3-5 is that you can get safeties at linebacker. So you see we got a ton of safeties right here. Chuck Clark, Levine, and then we got Elliott over there. Also get some athletic outside linebackers right here. Yannick, he's pretty athletic, I believe. I could also throw like Bowser there if I wanted someone a little bit more coverage base, but that will do. Put your best D lineman here at D tackle as well. So let's go ahead, come out on the play. Again, I'm going to be running out of cover 3 sky drop. You could run out of cover 4 drop as well, but we're just going to run cover 3 sky drop here. So I'm going to go against gun bunch. I'll probably just show a couple of gun bunch setups here. Let's just set a couple of audibles, and then I'm going to come out in the flood. Now, as you see on defense, you want to run that slot cornerback on the strong side of the field. You can turn auto flip on for this defense, but what you want to do, first things first, you're going to press, and just taking a look at our base coverage, you see it's just going to be a stock cover 3. What we want to do though is, I like these outside quarter zones better than the outside thirds. It's less susceptible to getting beat deep in my opinion, and overall, especially on that solo side, I feel like they play better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put B on an outside quarter and X on an outside quarter as well. Now you see kind of the reason why you can run cover 4 drop out of it. Cover 4 drop is kind of bad though, because this player, we keep him on a hook curl in our setup, but he's already on a quarter flat, so that's just a couple of extra adjustments you have to make. But here's a look at our first couple of setups. Put both outside corners in outside quarter zones. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to throw A here in a hard flat, and you're going to throw this X linebacker in a hard flat as well. So here's a look at our defense, and yeah, that's pretty much it for our first setup. What you also like to do, what I like to do, is to move our inside third down just a little bit. Also, when you run cover 4 drop, you have to throw that strong safety in an inside third because he's going to be in an inside quarter, so that's again another adjustment you have to make. But overall, here's a look at our coverage. We're obviously going to be using our spy right here. Putting your user in a spy is going to give you a little bit better cutting, better user overall, so we keep him in a spy. But yeah, here's a look at our base coverage. Now with this hook curl, we could leave him on a hook curl, or we could do a couple of other things with him, but I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. So with that being said, here's a look at our defensive setup. Again, it is a lot of adjustments. I think it's around 4 adjustments that you make, 4 or 5, but overall it's really decent. Now I know it's only a 2-man rush, and we'll get a couple of other adjustments you can do if you want to rush 3 people or whatever, but just for the base setup, this one's going to be really, really nice. So we're just going to go ahead and snap the ball here. You see everything's really going to be covered well. That hook curl sits in a pretty good spot. You see how he's kind of lurking down on the running back, but also defending the in route. I like that 10-yard hook curl. Normally, he would probably be lurking super high. He would probably be going over here on the left, and in our case, we don't want him to do that. We kind of want him to sit in the middle to where, since we have a safety there, he can jump up, play that in route on a low ball and a bullet pass, but also make an easy tackle on the halfback. So again, the setup is press, throw X on an outside quarter, throw B on an outside quarter, and then we're going to throw this XD lineman in a hard flat, throw A in a hard flat, and that's it. So again, Really only 4 adjustments, I would say. You just get those outside quarters and those hard flat zones. Again, if you're running out of cover 4 drop, you have to put this guy in a curl flat, you have to throw him in an inside third, and then you have to still put all these guys in hard flats. It's just a lot of adjustments, so that's the reason. Although I do like the cover 4 drop shell a little bit better than the cover 3 one. I prefer adjusting out of the cover 3 drop a little bit better, which is the reason that I do so. So one last thing you could do is you could just go ahead, shade over the top. So I could just press or shade over the top so that my outside quarters don't get burned as much. Again, that turns our hard flats into cloud flats, but keep in mind that our flats are adjusted by zone drop, so they will play the exact same depth. And then one last thing I like to do is shade outside as well. So again, you will see Marlon Humphrey's going to play Robbie Anderson a little bit better. You see DJ Moore should be defended a little better as well. Here I'll throw Y on like a wheel route, just a basic type setup. But you see on Marcus Peters, I like how he defends that little in route. You see the just defense we have right there, pretty solid. But overall, again, I think the story of this defense is going to be the outside quarters. Now, there's a couple of other adjustments, again, we'll go into later, but just look at how Marcus Peters plays this. I like how he plays this a lot better. I see how he's kind of defending on break, just making it more difficult to throw than the outside third. Now, Robbie Anderson on this little fade route, he has a little bit more speed on him, so he's going to get a little bit of separation, but you see the coverage, pretty good. Again, I think I forgot to move down our inside third, or he's actually down, but I like how this guy would kind of defend like a post route or something. See the out route is completely defended right there. Flats are perfectly defended. And really, the only zone that doesn't play the best is going to be this curl flat from the free safety spot. So I could move that down a little bit if I wanted him to get over quickly, because you see how there's a little bit of a window right here. So that's one thing. You see how he kind of is drifting, and then he plays the in route a little bit. So that's the particular route combo could give you trouble. But you do see the hook curl also here, sitting in that 10-yard zone depth, just playing it really good. You can't lowball the in route right here, and then we can actually go ahead and use it. And you see the sheds, they're going to be decent. These D linemen are not the best, but usually in Ultimate Team, you get pretty quick pressure rushing 2 people, I would say. So let's hop into just a couple of other things you could do. So for the most part, the base setup is going to be the same, just the hard flats and the outside quarters like this. But then a couple of other things you could do is I like to go with some cross-man type adjustments. So I would maybe man up this player on B, because usually B is going to be on a post route. So when plays like double post, B is going to be on a post route a lot. Now if he's on a streak, it doesn't do a whole lot for us, but I can also man up Clark on B and then maybe user Elliott. Again, it depends on what you want to do. But for the post route, I feel like this is probably the better adjustment. Because he's going to be defended well early in the play because we move our inside third down. But overall, he won't be guarded the entire time. So let's just run this setup a little bit. Go down and user, kind of lurk down. Now you see the running backs open. That's probably the one you want to defend. And when you don't have another hook curl zone, you kind of got to lurk over on the drag route because that's the short side of the field, and then you got to run with the running back. Just make it a difficult throw. So again, I'll throw B on a outside quarter, X on an outside quarter, X in a hard flat, A in a hard flat. Then I would do a little cross man like this. Now the drag route will be defended a little bit better if you have a hook curl, but then again, you see that the post route's going to be open. So for a route combo like this, the running back or the drag will always be open. If you go ahead and leave that hook curl, or I mean the post or the running back will always be open if you leave that hook curl zone. So what I'm talking about is I would usually go defend the drag. Now I'm actually in the wrong play again here. So we'll just throw that ball. But overall, there's a lot you can do with it. I like that base adjustment a little bit. And again, you always want to mix in your coverage. You don't want to run the same setup over and over again, because that's when your opponent can start to get your tendencies down and start to adjust based upon what you're doing. So here we will run this setup that I was talking about like this. And if I go with the crossman, basically what I want to do is lurk down on the drag. So I'm going to lurk down this, and then I'm going to go with Y. You see RB doesn't really have a huge window to throw that, and he's going to have to make a quickly timed low ball pass on the drag. UCC routes defended well. Post is defended well with that crossman adjustment. So overall, it's a very solid defensive setup. Now let's hop into if you wanted to rush 3. So if I wanted to rush 3, pretty much what I would do is just run a similar setup. All I'm going to do is throw X in my hard flat And then A also in the hard flat, just look like this. You got 3-man rushing, but you will see when I do this, I'm not going to get really any quicker pressure, or at least I shouldn't, and overall it's going to hurt because I don't have anyone to defend. So even if they run like a stock mesh post setup, you see there's always going to be somebody open. So if I go with like this, motion them over, you see I'm going to have to pick one. I can't help out on that post route, so kind of got to lurk down, make him throw that slant, but you see one's going to be open. So things like that will really hurt you, whereas if I ran mesh post, same mesh post setup, but I had that cross man on B, basically what I would be able to do is I would just go ahead and lurk down on that running back and then follow the slant route over, and it would be pretty perfectly defended. So again, I'm going to throw A in my hard flat just like this, and cross man X on B. Now, if he's running a lot of flood, if he's running a lot of, Z spot or something like that, it's not the best to man him up. But out of all these plays, you see PA dig fork. If he were to motion over that S post, that's going to be manned up, so it's going to help out. In an ultimate team, you get some like 90 speed, 93, 94 speed safeties. It's going to be really an overall great scheme. Now against the run, it's not the best, but out of 3-3-5, you can always audible to like a 3-3-5 wide and run something else. So definitely can mix up your play art. But let's showcase this mesh post setup a little bit, and I'll show you how I talked about with the user. So I would lurk down on that slant route. That was a pretty bad job of usering, but you see the post was defended pretty well. And sometimes this will happen where your players just get pancaked. It's a weird animation, but if that happens, you're kind of in a terrible spot. I don't see that happening a whole lot to me, and get some defensive abilities like double or nothing to where they can get some nice instant sheds or split double teams pretty easily. But if they have abilities like post up, that could definitely hurt this. So if you see him doing that, you can always rush that extra guy. But bunch is a really good formation, so certain plays are going to beat you. It's just about, bending, not breaking. You're not going to give up the big play running this. You see the outside quarter always follows that streak in the post or in the flood concept. So play like flood that's cover 3 beater will not be the setup. But again, overall, it's a pretty good scheme. Even if I were to go to like a spread, I don't really have my audible set, but even a formation like spread can get defended pretty well because again, we have that hook curl that's going to really help us. So again, I can press outside quarters, whatever, and then I can throw X in a hard flat and A in a hard flat like this. And you see, you can have success running it like this. So even a play like just base PA deep outs, you see it's pretty well defended. So that's pretty much going to conclude it. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if you want more videos like this one, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and peace. I'm out of here.